I think the one thing that we're noted is maybe what goes with the larger-than-life personalities of sports, entertainment, and music culture are the type of awards that express their achievement. We have this belt, we'll have the Golden Globe Awards as well. We have a Tony Award for Carol Channing. It's sort of like a wonderfully shiny tribute to their talents and self-decided ostentation. There is no modesty with this, but then again, when you're putting yourself in a public eye, modesty plays very small. From film director George Sidney, these are images from several of his many films, and we have the first pair of chaps that he wore at the age of 4 in his Tom Mix silent film. We have a hand-tinted photograph of him in the chaps, and there he is at the age of 4, and at the age of 4 he already knew he wanted to work in film. But when you see a career that probably at 21 he's directing Our Gang, and that considerably more than 21 he's directing Anne Margaret and Elvis Presley and Viva Las Vegas, it's a career worth exploring and celebrating. And this is just a taste of what we have from his widow that has given us all of the photographs that he took on the set, all of the photographs he took of Hollywood parties and such. And then over here, the Phyllis Diller materials. We have Miss Diller donated a number of materials to the museum, including a joke file that contains well over 50,000 jokes on index cards. We didn't have room for the joke file, but we did have room for the tricks of her trade, shall we say. The cigarette holder with the wooden cigarette, and of course she cautioned us, she said, always say that the cigarette is wooden because I never smoked. It was just a prop. The short gloves, the outlandish boots, and then the wild fright wig, which is such a part of her persona. And one of my favorite objects is this piece of wood right here, which I'm sure that many people will wonder what it is, but that's a slapstick. And that piece of wood is what the tradition of slapstick comedy is all about. At the turn of the century in vaudeville, in urban centers like New York City, not all the audience would have spoken English, but they understood physical comedy. And the slapstick plays very much into that. You use your downstage hand to create the slap to the fellow comedian on the stage. You use your upstage hand, which holds the slapstick, and you slap it against your lap. So therefore, by hitting or touching the face of your partner, such as a comedic duo that become Martin and Lewis or Cheech and Chong, you create the effect of a comic smack, and that's what gives birth to things like the Three Stooges. And this is a recast of a case that we did on hip-hop, and actually the curator, Marvette Perez, has worked on this and put it together, and it sort of celebrates a tradition that is still in development at this point. The equipment that it takes to make the sounds of hip-hop, and this airbrush jacket. And in this empty case, we all know what these yellow bricks are. That's for the ruby slippers. And like the costumes, that will go in at 0 hour. So those slippers will be dancing down the yellow brick road again.